It is the electrical home here on QVC for a bank holiday Monday evening. I'm losing track of time at the moment. It feels like a Tuesday.
This is really
feels like a Tuesday. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, Colin is back, who lives and breathes technology for QVC, and you've been with QVC for many, many years. But in the world of IT, you were telling us earlier this morning that you wrote programs for the ZX...
81 and a ZX Spectrum.
Wow.
So I started off really, you know, at the early stages when, you know, laptops and things weren't around even then.
That's going back over 25 years.
It is, I know, so it's a long time.
Well, good for you, but you've seen the huge leaps and jumps and evolving that we've seen and enjoyed, you could argue, as well, in technology. Let's take a look at this in the meantime. Have a look. 562794 is the item number, 6720, and easy payments of 3360. This is 562794. It is the Trust Slimline 10 by 6 inch widescreen picture, video and graphic editing tablet. Really popular in the past. Thousands of these have gone in the past. And why has this proven to be such a popular choice?
Well, if you're into editing video or you want to editing pictures, this is a great thing for you. What this does is it replaces the mouse, Charlie. And if you can see on here, I'm just going to do some strokes with it. You can see that it starts off with a very low pressure, and the harder you press, the darker the line becomes. So I can do a very thin line, and then I can press really hard and get a really solid line.
So rather like using a real pencil.
That's correct. You cannot do that with a mouse. For definitely you can't do that with a mouse. And what you can't do with a mouse is trace something. So if I simply put this picture, and we give you a pad that you can lift up, you can put this picture underneath, then you can simply trace around that. Now obviously I'm going to do this really quickly. You could not do this with a mouse because you would be covering up what you're tracing. So here it's really easy to do, and you can see how quickly you can trace around things. Obviously I'm doing this really quickly.
Yeah, but it looks really good, but you lose accuracy with a mouse.
That's right, but with this you can't do that without a mouse. You know, so you could do that really quickly, and then of course, you know, you can colour in the hair. And if you want to get a really big brush, you can change the size of your brush. Yeah. So now you can just colour in things like that. So with the red here that I've got, obviously you can do that. So there's lots of different things you can do with this. But what I'm going to show you what actually I do professionally with this. Obviously I do websites for people, and I was recently asked to go and photograph a wedding. This is my brother-in-law's wedding. But here I'm going to pick up my clone tool here, and I'm going to get rid of that horrible gate which sits in the background there. So if I simply select the clone tool, now I can just take out that gate really quickly, and that will improve the image so much that I don't have a gate in the background there. And you can see here,
incredible.
And I'm going to try and do this post really quickly, and obviously I'm doing it quickly, but you can see how quickly you can take things out.
Wow.
But that's just done really quickly. Now, one of the other things that I've done, as I say, I went to BBC food show, and I took some images of Theo Randall, and if you see the image here, you can see here that he's got this horrible microphone on. He's got this this bit in the background here really annoys me. Yeah. So this is what I've done to the picture. Obviously not in the few seconds that we've had here, but the microphone's gone, that bit of background's gone, I've changed the colour, I've cropped it, and done all this with the actual pointer and with the graphics tablet. And you can't do that with a mouse easily. It's very difficult to do, because to do that rubbing out around this face,
we would click the chin or the cheek or the ear. You've got supreme accuracy with the pen and tablet provided. What other software would you use this with?
You get with this a program called Artweaver, which will be like the Photoshop, and it will do most of the things that Photoshop will do. Yes. But also you can use that. We use this with Photoshop. So you can use it with Photoshop, you can use it with Word, you can sign letters with Word as well, so you can do that. The other thing is that around the outside you've got 29 programmable keys. And for example, I've programmed #1 key to open up the website and go to the QVC website. Yeah. So it opens the browser and loads up QVC. So you can program keys to open documents that you're constantly working on images you're constantly working on. You can program the pad to actually do that. So that's all built in as well. On the actual pen itself, you've got 2 buttons here. So that makes it act exactly like a mouse. So you can actually press those 2 buttons just like the left and right button of a mouse.
So we need never use a mouse again?
You need never use a mouse again.
Even when browsing the internet, we can use this pen?
That's right. You can do everything you would normally do with a mouse with this. And it's much more intuitive because a mouse you have to push around, whereas when you're drawing or you're moving, you tend to move like a pen anyway with this.
It feels more natural, doesn't it?
It definitely. Once you get used to it, you have to give it a few, times to get used to it, but once you get used to it, you will never go back to a mouse.
And levels of sensitivity, so the harder you push, the deeper, the stronger the line that you'll be drawing with that software we saw earlier.
Yes, that's Artweaver, and you can get 1,000 levels of pressure levels. So the harder you press, the more you will get with this. So
I can't believe you got rid of that gate.
Yeah, it's just incredible how
all of a sudden we know how those magazines and newspapers achieve those photos.
That's correct.
With those tweaks and adjustments.
It's easy to do as well. You don't have any sort of problem with that. And as I say, if I just rub this out again,
they'll never look better.
And you can see. So if I just go back to having a small pen, you can just
So is this the software that's provided?
This is the software that's provided. You've got all the tools down the outside here.
My kids would love this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously kids have really a great deal of fun playing around with this. But I just go down to the size of my pen again, and I select black on here.
Okay.
Now, when I press, I just get a very, very thin line there, you see. So you can do a really, really thin line. And if I change the size up slightly thicker, you can change the size. And now I can do a really, and the harder I press, the darker that line. So you can see if you do it like that, whereas if you go gently like that, you get that much more mottled effect. And you cannot do that with a mouse because this is the only way you can do it, by pressing hard with the pen.
And we're not spilling any paint, we're not leaving crayon marks or pen marks on the tablecloth or ruining the worktop. It's brilliant.
It's great. So the kids love it.
Yeah.
But as I say, if you're working with video, if you look at the video studios where they do all the video editing, QVC,
this is the kind of thing they use.
They're always using these. And they used to be small tablets, but look at the size of this. It's a massive wide tablet, really for widescreen editing. It's just perfect if you're doing that. So it's a great bit of kit to have if you're doing any video editing, picture editing, or you just want to sign letters. You can sign letters with it at the bottom. Once you get used to using this, it will replace your mouse because it just is a fantastic way of editing on the computer.
Do take advantage. Easy payments there for you. $33.60 is your first payment. This is with you in 3 to 5 working days. Try this. Use this. As Colin says, if you've been used to a mouse for the last 10 years, this may take a bit of adjusting, but I think it won't take that long because we use pens and pencils most days in our lives, so this will be quick for you to accustomed to, but try this in that 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, we are going to move along. Colin's going to stay with us. That's a great photo.
Yeah, we're trying to take that microphone out with a mouse is impossible. With this, it's really easy.
56279